baki tuba tukola omulundi gumu.
Tuli live Waiswa.
Mbadde nno njagala kukyusa ate.
Nedda tugendere wano tuli live tutandise.
Kale tutandike. Coca-Cola glass. Balete glass. In a glass, real glass. Kale leta. Take on. Sit on.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining this program. Actually, this is the first episode of this show, and the title is 45-minute show. It will be featuring different categories of people discussing specifically the socio-economic and political landscape in this our country, Uganda. Of course, in relation to the journey our generation embarked on, and that's none other than the journey to freedom, the journey to democracy, the journey to rule of law, the journey that actually all sane Ugandans should embark on and don't tire until we reach the final destination. And today, on the panel, we have the outspoken leader from the National Unity Platform. That's none other than Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, who also doubles as the deputy spokesperson of the National Unity Platform and the deputy spokesperson of the People Power Movement this afternoon. Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, please say something to the viewers and we start off this show.
I am, of course, extremely humbled to be part of the Choto family. I have already been told that you're streaming across 40 pages. I want to send my warm greetings to all Ugandans out there, those in the diaspora and those in Uganda. We are back home here in the struggle, of course, as usual. Uganda is our motherland, and it is always humbling, whether it's during the week or on the weekend, when we are out there speaking about how best we can make it better for all of us and equal. So I am extremely humbled. And of course, I want to wish you, my brother JB, a belated happy birthday. The busy schedule made me miss it, but it is humbling that we are growing, because the more we grow at this, is the more desired experience we shall deliver to this country. So I thank you, and I want to thank you also for your resilience, your commitment to this struggle. You're doing a great job. You inspire many of us back here home. So I want to thank you and thank all members of the Choto family for availing me this opportunity to discuss with the world.
All right, thank you very much. Alex Waiswa, in brief, just 2 minutes before we start off the show, how has been your week?
Wow, hectic. Hectic. Of course, we are faced with a lot of fighting. The regime is spending lots and lots of billions of money, taxpayers' money, on ensuring that they form the narrative that weakens the National Unity Platform, that weakens our leader. You have seen that many members of the opposition are at the forefront of fighting, of maligning, of blackmailing us. But that gives you the energy, and that has been our week. We have been trying to make things right, but of course also focusing on our desired schedule of liberating this country. A lot of the diversionary antics done by the state are geared towards driving us off the rail on the formalities and the formidability we are creating and enhancing to having a stable and resilient force against the dictator.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Though the last few words we lost you there, but I believe you managed?
It was a hectic one. I cannot say it was not hectic. It was hectic, but we always handle such situations.
Okay, I believe the same to me, this side. From my perspective of all things, it has been hectic even on my side. And on that note, let us start with the issue of Honorable Zake. You know the Deputy Speaker, that is the Anta Mong, who also doubles as the woman MP for Bukedea District. You well know she's working tooth and nail to see that Honorable Zake is kicked out. So far, we've had more than 200 MPs have signed to impeach Honorable Zake from his position as the Parliamentary Commissioner. Some of these MPs, unfortunately, they are from the opposition. What do you make out of all this, and specifically, what is at stake in all this?
Of course, I want to tell the country that the parliament is now headed by a person who cares less about humanity, a person who is a mafia, a person who turned from black to brown. So it defines the type of person you're faced with as a country. It is so unfortunate that General Museveni told the country that for the betterment of us and us meeting the middle status income, we had to have a collection of fishermen to be in charge of shepherding us to civilization. So in that mindset, Honorable Anite, of course, you all know how she became MP. She used the court and the electoral commission, just like in the 1980s, to nullify all of the would-be candidates and opponents against her, so as to be declared unopposed. The last candidate to be nominated, she was denominated by the electoral commission on very fake grounds. They recalled signatures of nominees to her advantage. So she's a highly connected person. I have known her for some time, and I can tell you that she's a deadly person. She has a lot of contacts. At one time, this is a story of another day, but at one time, she even fixed a corruption contact with the Deputy Chief Justice at Communications House here. So she is a lethal and brutal individual who I think by definition and by advantage, she will struggle to see that she defeats us in this thing. But I want to tell Ugandans, one, if she succeeds with the mob justice of parliament, because of the mob numbers that they have, Zake will remain in parliament. The reason why they are fighting Zake to leave the commission, I want to tell Ugandans that this commission is where allocation of responsibility and budgets to parliament is managed and handled. So Zake has had the privilege to know the corruption and the bribery in that committee. He's a stumbling block to the things that Madam Anita wants to do in that committee. She wants to use it to her advantage, and Zake has been a stumbling block because of what he stands for, the values he stands for. That is why the other day she was even trying to show that they have reconciled. I want to tell Ugandans that she wants to use this as a form of intimidation because Honorable Zake refused to cow down and negotiate with the dictator. All of us are on that punishment as Ugandans. If you don't want to agree that the country is in good hands and you say it is messed up, they will definitely treat you like Zake. Ugandans should not be shocked because you know Zake's ultimate penalty given to him by General Museveni is death and torture. So if somebody has been tortured and beaten to pulp and death, you cannot be surprised that even that position is holding, that he was given by the people of Mitiana and the National Unity Platform, because that is not Anita's position. That is a decision of the National Unity Platform, because it is the National Unity Platform that decides who's supposed to be the commissioner. Now, what if tomorrow we say that Zake is supposed to be the leader of opposition? Because these are just positions. We can say for tomorrow and say now, instead of Zake being a commissioner, let us make him our leader of opposition. What will she do? It does not need our approval. What if we make him the chief whip? What will Zake do? What will Anita do? Anita cannot defeat our mind. We are only looking at her as a diversionary antic. She thinks she's smarter. She thinks she's brighter, but she's living a thin line, a very thin line, because the dictator cannot outlive us. She will definitely be here after the dictator, and we are telling her she will be liable of all the wrongs she has done to Ugandans. She's responsible for very many things, and some of us have put her to book. We only await the day we shall interact and have an opportunity to put her to the nation and tell the nation who she really is. She has quite a machinery. She has quite a machinery. There are people you have been seeing always and giving them a lot of marks that they are people who fight for this country. They are not. The PR department, all of them, all those who are working with the dictator, people we must put to shame when time comes. But of course, Honorable Zake is formidable to the fact that if they want him to leave that position and they have the mob justice on him, they can do the mob justice. But Ugandans have the ultimate answer. And as I have said, we can determine these are just positions. We can wake up in the morning and say that Zake is the leader of opposition. I don't think Anita will have a hand in us having him there.
All right.
So I want us to bother less about her. Let us look at her, do whatever she's doing. She's a demon in the sand.
Let's give you a few minutes and a few seconds. I want to interject in a little bit. You know, when I was spreading out to this poster announcing this show, I got some questions from colleagues, and there's a question one of the comrades asked: if Honorable Zake or if Anita Muwonge wins, does the NUP leadership has the legality to choose another parliamentary commissioner? I want that to come from your mouth.
Of course, that position is not for Anita Muwonge. That position is for National Inter-Platform. It is a constitutional position. It is not her position. And there's nothing we benefit much about there. What they don't benefit about us being there is that we know the bad things that they're doing inside there. We are chasing the dictator. We are not chasing those small positions. So we still have the mandate to choose. And we can decide even not to choose and tell them that, take it away.
But again, Alex, I want you to look into this as well. Why is it that MPs have found much interest in signing this petition for the impeachment of Honorable Zake than signing for the impeachment of Jbmuwonge? And by the way, maybe some people do not know, what are they choosing Jbmuwonge for that MPs have not found much interest? And, you know, they rather find it in the impeachment of Zake. Can you take us through that as well?
Anita is bribing members of parliament. Each member who has signed has been given 1 million. So you, of course, expect more signatures because 1 million is a lot of money. And that is the character of Anita. She's bribing MPs. MPs are taking up to 1 million. Secondly, they don't understand that this is a question of torture and individualism. The NRA is trying to get back to distorting facts of torture by introducing all diversionary antics, and that is Anita at it. And they want to show the might of their mob justice in parliament. Just like they will do mob justice on the Iyala elections, they can do mob justice on Zake. But these things go unanswered of parliament. They will be remembered to having aided and abetted torture. All that bunch of idiots that think that this is just a game. Genome 7 has said it forth back and forth that even if you send him a dog, as long as it is in yellow and it can be able to put up its hand, he doesn't mind. So probably the dogs have been told to put up their hands and they don't know what they're signing. I have been told that some of them have been signing thinking that they are signing Zake's petition. That is the group of members of parliament in this country that you have.
Yeah, I want you to highlight on the issue of Jbmuwonge. Expound more on that.
The issue of Jbmuwonge, yeah, one, he abdicated and neglected his authority and role empowered to him by the Constitution. of being accountable to the lives of Ugandans as the inline Minister of Security, and also of being in charge of an organization that has been at the thrust of torturing Ugandans unprecedentedly. And as you are all aware, he has neglected and abdicated that duty. And those are the grounds of responsibility to which we members of the National Unity Platform and the opposition feel are enough grounds, are enough moral and ethical grounds to impeach him.
All right. On that note, don't you think the NUP leadership in the parliament or the members of parliament on the side of the people have not done enough to convince, because this is a serious issue, the issue of torture. Don't you think they've not done enough to convince NRM MPs to sign for the impeachment of Jbmuwonge?
JB, I have heard many people,
Mm-hmm.
even those who went to school, make such assertions and deliberations that where are our MPs to convince? My friend, why are you
Mm-hmm.
supposed to convince somebody about torture? It is understandable. Torture is inhumane. If you're a Christian, I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to tell you about torture. It is inhumane. It is degrading. It is archaic. You don't need to be convinced. The truth is, we are having a bunch of idiots at the helm of legislation, and I want you to also accept that there is a lot of poverty in mind of those who represent us, that they cannot even stand for the truth. They are acclimatized, and they are so acclimatized to the status quo because that is not where they have been. It will be very difficult for them to chase what you're chasing. But the precedent we set as the opposition and as our members, because as of now, I'm aware that we have a number of 60 plus members of parliament. For me, I am comfortable of putting on record those that have stood up with the people at the time when the people needed them, and those that have decided either to keep silent or be with the dictator at the time when they were desired so much to be. For me, that is my modus operandi, and I would think it works so much. All we are doing today is to make sure that we are all at the same page to have the second thrust of this revolution. Because between me and you, we all know what it is going to take.
Definitely. Uh, on that note, still on the parliament, having talked about Anita Mont, Habos, the Speaker of Parliament, that's the Right Honorable Jack Bolanya, who is actually getting better as per the recent communication from the Deputy Speaker. He was recently flown out of the country to get medication from the United States, and Ugandan is residing in the United States as usual. Yeah, they took it to the streets, specifically this time around Seattle. They took it to the streets to protest these unending flights government officials make to get treatments from such developed countries, leaving behind the well-facilitated good hospitals in Uganda, as they claim. Uh, I don't know if I can, maybe let me link this to Mao and that small section of MPs from Acholi. And I know as a deputy spokesperson of the National Unity Platform and People Power as a movement, I'm well convinced you've been following closely statements from those two groups of people, most especially from the president of the Democratic Party, that is uh, Dr. Mao. Mao has on several occasions directly attacked
Mao is
NUP.
not a doctor. Mao is not a doctor. He's
It's
a
not a
lawyer.
doctor. Thank you for that. Norbert Mao has on several occasions directly attacked NUP as a party and its leaders as the sanctions of these protests. And in one of the statements, actually, a few days ago, he said, I quote, the same people who threw parties to celebrate the death of General Paul Lokech are the same ones wishing Speaker Jacob Olanya dead. Their likes refused meat on Obote's dead body passing through well to Akokoro for burial. They betrayed Ben Chwanuka. They betrayed Ben Chwanuka. There is no truth in them. So I want you, Alex, to take us into perspective of your view of all this. What is their agenda in all this? Why all these attributable sentiments? I want you to take us through that as well.
I was with Mao on Thursday, and I warned him not to continue that trend. And he was a bit polite. I thought that we were on the same page. But you see, in the opposition at this time, it is when they determine those who will represent at the East African, at the EALA Parliament. And as you are aware, many of our political parties are racing for that position. So part of the politics that those political parties play is that they insult you, and they will insult NUP such that the old man catches their eye and gives them at the and gives them a slot at the East African Parliament. Secondly, I think Mao is now paid to attack NUP relentlessly because he has no issues he's presenting apart from castigating us and diverting us from what we are supposed to be discussing. He did say that he's now a lone soldier, but I think he's a paid lone soldier who will be defeated by time and facts. I want to end him at that. I really do not want, I do not think I should go low as he's going, because I am a student of when they go low, we go high. So I want to urge Ugandans to dismiss Mao, but also discuss the fact of Jacob Olanya. For me, as Alex Waiswa, I have no problem with people protesting against Jacob Olanya in America, because one, it is true he is moving on government funds. A person of his stature, if he's going to enjoy our resources for treatment, they must even tell us when he's sick and what he's suffering from. Those are the practices internationally. Even Trump, when he was going to hospital, they would say he's in this health condition, his heartbeat is now in this style, this is his pulse, this is his pressure. Because when you are a national leader, you are not an everyday person. But they keep them very ill, nearly to death. They sleep them out of the country, and then they expect that Ugandans will follow suit for their aftermath discussions. They would prepare Ugandans in all those processes, because this is a big person. That is one. Two, the cost. We must discuss the cost and our health sector in Uganda. Let me tell you, by 1980, Uganda had 22 referral hospitals. That is where we are even up today. Now, between 1962 and 1986, there was a construction of 22 national referral hospitals. Jenja Hospital, Mbale Hospital, Gomba Hospital, Gulu Hospital, all those big referral hospitals. And of course, they were all assisted. The medical health was complemented by the existentiality of the religious health facilities at the time. For example, the Anglicans took it upon themselves and constructed Namilembe Hospital. Those of the Catholic Church, they constructed Rubaga Hospital. And they did not end at that. The Muslims, you know that there's Chibuli Hospital. Now, this assistance and organization of health are the arguments people are advancing, that in the 21st century and the 21st mind, there would have been an improvement and a public health insurance policy of Ugandans. Let me tell you, Jacob Olanya was at the helm of Parliament when they were allocating the over $150 million to Lubowa Hospital. Do you know what the report that is out? The person who has allocated that money is a coffee grower now. But because these are influences of State House, all this money has now disappeared. They will do subcontracts, and even the agreements that they have put to book, they make sure that they are badly covered, that by the time, for example, if you look at the construction of the bypass, the contract was of 5 years. The dollar was at 1,800. Today the dollar is at 3,500.
Yeah.
even by financial contract. That is wrong. And this is what we have been going through. Now, Olanya was in charge of fixing as a deputy speaker, and as a speaker, the voices in Seattle are saying, go back home, because he's already there. He's receiving treatment. Nobody's arguing that he should not be there. He is already there receiving treatment. And they are not saying that fly him back home to die. They are saying, Olanya, you must fix. When God gives you the second opportunity, go home and fix the problems that you left there for the people who pay taxes, for the people who have paid for your bill to be okay. Ugandans have suffered the consequences of Olanya's illness by treating him in America and expecting him to come back home and fix the problems. They have found him that he needs that health. Now, if you've got it, come back home and make sure that every Ugandan
Waiswa, we are losing you.
opportunity. It is important, secondly, they have used the opportunity. They have used the opportunity to say that, you see, and if you look at the way Mao brings it, that we are tribalistic. We are Baganda. Alex Waiswa is Msoga. I have been, it is known, publicly known. Rubongoya is not a Muganda. Nabagabe is not a Muganda. Barbara Chagulanyi is not a Muganda. Nobian Lee is not a Muganda. I mean, but they keep on rotating that picture back. Let me tell you, Chibule Ronald, one of my good friends, there were protests in America about his medical espionage in America. Judith Babidi, I never heard Mao speak about these things. That is why he is rubber jumping to everything, because he wants to keep in the news and he wants to catch the eye of the dictator. You know, the dictator promises them money and he does not give it to them on time. So they have to do many activities to keep in his mind. And I think Norbert Mao is desirous of a certain pay that has been promised to him. We can now wait and see whether after he has received it, it will remain the same. There are many political leaders you're going to see fighting this thing, fighting us behind very many curtains. But for us as the National Unity Platform and People Power must remain fought to the prize, be more focused, and we shall have the yielded results that we want.
All right, thank you, Comrade Alex. On that note, I want you to, by law, the National Unity Platform should be the one in the State House. Our President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert yeyandibadde ng'ali mu ntebe ng'ali entebe mu ntebe, which is not the case. And we had a manifesto. I want you to also take us into perspective. What would the national, actually, you just remind Ugandans, what would the National Interplatform do to prevent such scenarios of officials flying out of Uganda to get medical attention? In brief, strengthening and making sure that the health care system in Uganda is well off.
We are not against medical, we are not against people being referred to other expertized health facilities across the globe. That is not our position. Our position is that these leaders who have always said that the things are okay back home should also reciprocate that to tandem with the health status of Ugandans. Number one, we do not have a health insurance policy, public health insurance policy. In our manifesto, we have enlisted that Ugandans will be introduced to a new system governed and systemized by government, our new government, on health, by making sure that every Ugandan has particular minimum standards in terms of medical health response. We want the health of Ugandans to be the responsibility, the sole responsibility of government. You must ensure that all those who have chronic and critical diseases are at your service as government. That is in our manifesto of New Uganda. We also believe in improved infrastructure. If you look at our infrastructure, the issues we are talking about, Mulago had the capacity. I want to tell Ugandans, Mulago had the capacity 20 years ago to work on every type of patient. But today it does not have capacity because, one, it has been overtaken by the numbers that were associated to be handled by that hospital. Two, the lack of improved modern technology in these hospitals. All this must be improved in our system. And of course, digitalizing the medical profession, and empowering the human medical resource, because many of our doctors, many of our people, as you may realize, are no longer with us simply because they have gone for greener pastures. I mean, people have flown to different hospitals and came back with stories that they are still treated by Ugandans. We can re-import back this medical human resource. Let me tell you, the person who handles Aga Khan Hospital is Professor Lay. He cannot work here. Why? The environment. So even our government will provide enough and hospitable political environment for our medical practitioners to feel free and practice in Uganda without haste. It is part of our program. Building more hospitals, medical equipment, increment in the remuneration of the medical personnel. Wow, our manifesto on health, trust me, it represents the new Uganda. Free maternal health. Free maternal health. Yeah, free maternal health. That every woman going to give birth should not go through a hassle, yet is giving Ugandans a resource. It must be free, acceptable, hygienic, and of the 21st century.
Yes, thank you, Comrade Waiswa. However much your network is a bit non-steady, but we can hear you very, very loud and clear. Yeah, we can hear very loud and clear, though the image is static a bit. Now, of course, last Friday, was it? I don't remember the exact date. The National Platform, the People Movement, launched its mobilization committees for the 9 constituencies that make up Kampala district. And I saw you, preaching the message of change to those comrades. Question is, why Kampala and not other districts far from Kampala? Because many believe that people in Kampala are already aware of what to do. So, in your view, why Kampala and not the other districts from far from Kampala? Or there is any arrangement even to, so take us through that.
Kunga is a mobilization program that we started. I think it has been in the offing 4 months back. It is work in progress, and people are yet to realize how far we are headed. So it is work in progress. Kunga is work in progress, and all eyes on that. We believe it is going to stir up the population.
What is the word again? Kunga. I want you to expound more on that, being that it's something new. I would love each and everyone watching us to get it very, very right. I don't know whether you hear me.
Kunga is our new mobilization strategy where we are going to pick people from the parish level to the constituency level, having 15 mobilizers per constituency, and then they will be pulled together for purposes of mobilization and re-energizing our effort to unseating the dictator. We hope this will go up to the parish level, so I don't want to expound more on that. We have been doing this in the whole country. Busoga is ready, Teso is ready, Northern region is ready, Western region is ready. We are just beginning to activate. This news only sailed through to you people, but this is work in progress.
All right, let's not say much about that due to the fact that it has been work in progress. Let's just cross over to the issue of human rights violations. We've heard, we've seen, and we've experienced it physically, mentally, psychologically, in many forms. We saw how the regime's brutal arm, decorated Kakwenza's body, what they did to Comrade Maseruka from Kasese, and very many more of our comrades whose bodies were deformed at the hands of 7 security forces. Our comrades, actually, who are still in various prisons across the country, those who are missing since their abduction, the likes of John Bosco Chibalama, who was abducted on the 3rd June 2019. Then we have John Damulira was kidnapped on the 21st November 2021, and many more. Of course, thanks to the NUP legal team, it has done some good work. Southerners have regained their freedom. The question is, for the case of our comrades who are still there, the likes of Segrinya Muhammad, the likes of Alan Sewanyana, and very many more, what is the significance of our MPs, those on the side of the people, boycotting Parliament as one of the strategies they employed? And then what advice, I want you to wrap it up with this, what advice would you give to all concerned Ugandans regarding this issue?
The issue of torturing Ugandans is an instilled system of this regime, of the NRA. They have used it since they occupied this territory, and they use it because they want to instill fear and inflict pain on the voices of dissent, to stop all those who would have assumption to follow suit in the length of the same, having this country free from their hands. So it is part of their program. You all remember, I have been on record and I have reminded Ugandans how Genome 7 was excited by the bandits and his team that nearly killed our generational leader. So it should not be news. And I want to tell Ugandans that when the dictatorship is falling, it deteriorates to the latter. All times and all avenues where it was deceitful to the world, that it was susceptible to human rights, that it was in tandem with the dignity of humanity. At this time now, everybody knows where Museveni is. He has arrested members of parliament and allegedly denied them bail on ground that they were going to get a speedy trial. Up to today, they have never got a speedy trial. So it means that this is a deceitful person. He says, don't release them, give them a speedy trial. Then he calls that very judge, he refuses to try them. He tells them, don't try them, delay them in prison. Sejirinya and Sewanyana are in prison now for over 6 months. But Genome 7 claimed that they were to get speedy trial. So you look at a deceitful person. You look at a person who is not a man of his word. And very unfortunately, these are the people in charge of this country. They will always push you to think that you have not done enough. But my brother, these people have no offenses. There is nothing enough you can do. The point is, these people do not have offenses. Their offenses is bestowing the voices of dissent against the dictator. So do not look upon yourself and say, you know what, we have not done enough. The enough we have not yet done is to overwhelm him and unseat him. But issues of him having prisoners, him killing people, I think we should look forward to building more capacity as Ugandans, such that we can overpower him and then definitely later on observe and overthrow him. But that all goes back to our cohesiveness as a people, as a group, as a family, to our desired goal. We sometimes don't need to have a lot of numbers, because whatever he does, the torture, he does this to get back to the society, to make them hopeless and say, because if he has tortured Sejirinya, now tell me which normal Ugandan would be daring against him. If he has tortured Kakwenza, if he has tortured Masereka, if he has tortured Waiswa, if he has tortured Chagulanyi, then these other people will fear to stand for the truth. That is his mindset, to instill hopelessness in the society. And also, let me tell you, today I have been told reliably by intelligence that Genome 7, they have started to teach a lesson against NUP and it being not Pan-Africanist. our leader being determined to be one desirous of understanding the values of being African, amongst other things, because their existentiality is so much hinged on them being in power and passing on a dynasty leadership from father to son. So the torture that is being done is to instill fear in the public and grow the seeds of hopelessness such that they can only drive us without dissent, without anybody telling them what is supposed to tell them, and without putting up a fight. But Basanze Tulaba, we shall definitely put up a fight.
Right, thank you on that. Maybe to expound more still on that, because this is a very serious issue and a very sensitive one. Like you said, Honorable Segrin and Alan have so far spent more than 6 months in a prison, of which they committed no crime. Political prisoners. Someone was in much need to know the significance of MPs boycotting the parliamentary sessions, and yeah, I want you to just explain that.
I beg your pardon?
The significance of MPs boycotting Parliament, its impact to the entire Parliament as an institution.
One, it is a vote of no confidence in the legislature, because if they cannot entertain matters of those who put them in office, if they are still partisan on matters of torture, I think that was very good for National Unity Platform to be on the record of the answer of Parliament on our stand against torture. It is very formidable because the purpose of the political wing is to uplift their voices where they can. So whenever they do such cohesively, that was a sign of unity by our members. And it has hinged them big. They are doing all this, impeaching Zake, trying to pass the mineral bill, showing that they are working. They have been doing this because of the boycott. Now, after NUP supposed to return to Parliament on Tuesday, Parliament was postponed, signed, die. This Parliament has been in recess for more than 4 times, simply because General Museveni got a stooge, a political naive stooge, to be at the helm of Parliament, and the elected speaker is ill. We don't know what is happening to him. So for me, I want to tell you that it was a hands-on. It was very positive thing. That is what we are all cramming for. And being that they gave it to us, for us, I think they are playing their part and they are playing their part well.
All right. Thank you very much for explaining that very well. Just to remind whoever is watching live this show, we are streaming on over 60 platforms. Yeah, those watching from Echoto, watching from Bobbyang, watching from platforms like Ghetto TV, all our platforms of Jbmuwonge, the Jbmuwonge TV, Jbmuwonge Radio, and then fans page, all those pages, those watching from Campfire, the ITV. Guys, just to remind you, you can write down in the comment section of those respective pages. I'm going through your comment section here, but specifically you can maybe use anyway, wherever you're watching from, and you type in the comment section whatever you would love to ask Comrade Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, and your question will be answered. As I wait for comrades to write down their questions in the comment section, Alex, I want us to have a chat also about the new bill that is pending to be brought into the Parliament. The one who is pushing in the disguise of regulating social media. We recently witnessed live via cameras of NTV when the one Isaac Samakandi knocked out Seleko, the one pushing this bill. What do you take of this at such a time like now, with all what is going on in the country, the torture? I want you to take us through that. What do you take of it?
Seleko is a demagogue. He's a government demagogue who they have decided to use now during day and night. For a long time, they have been using him at night. And only a few of us would realize that he was not a rightful opposition person. But now, because of what happens in the country, he could no longer hold back anymore. They had to expose him. And thank God now Ugandans know who he is. I have described him before. I hope now he does not find this offensive. First of all, he would have first brought a law that stops government from shutting down the internet and denying Ugandans information if at all he was hinged on advancing communication and having any values whatsoever on cybercrime. The first convict of cybercrime is General Museveni.
Alex?
They switched off the today as we speak. They are talking about social media. They want to charge people about social media, but Facebook is on VPN. The police uses VPN. The army uses VPN. State House uses VPN. Bank of Uganda uses VPN. Uganda Revenue Authority uses VPN. Museveni uses VPN. Now, which government do we have where they themselves are committing a crime? Now, somebody who brings a law over something that does not exist must be sick in the head. Secondly, we have the law of cybercrime. We are not lacking laws of cyber. We have the laws, and they are enforceable. It is those very laws that they have based on to charge people like Kakwenza. It is those very laws that Sejirinya is battling a case at Uganda Road. It is those very exact laws that man Muhammad Nsereko is representing Isma Olaxes in a case of cybercrime. So for him, it is either ignorance, naivety, or living in excitement to tell Ugandans that we need a law, when in fact you yourself, you are prosecuting that very case in courts of Uganda. But as I have told you, there are people who have been paid to be stupid, and some of them put on ties, some of them went to school, and many of them are in parliament. So that is for Ugandans. His case is a dead one from the start.
Is a dead one from the start. Isaac,
It will not work. It can, you know, there are laws that will work from jungle governments like this one. But of course, we're fighting to remove this government. I am not bothered about things we shall correct in a day.
Okay, let me actually ask you this as as a journalist, as a comrade. You know, Facebook currently in Uganda is blocked. It's not active. In order to access it, you have to use
And
VPN.
I want to be on record. I'm on VPN.
Actually,
I
recently
break the law.
they threatened to arrest you for those that are using VPN.
They know I'm on VPN. They know. Because even them to watch me, they put VPN.
Now, like this bill, because it is specifically targeting Facebook. Because Facebook, when you talk about social media, looking at
No. It's not targeting social media. It's not targeting Facebook. It is
on a large
targeting
scale.
this. No, JB, understand. It is targeting this. It is targeting dissent.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, maybe I did not phrase it rightly. The platforms through which such dissent is passed. You know, when you talk about Facebook, it plays a very, very big role. Actually, to me, I believe that's why they had to block it and they instead open platforms like Instagram, platforms like Twitter, the other platforms, because for them you can access them, you know, even if you're not connected to VPN. But for Facebook, it's not, because it has it's the most used platform, even worldwide. Etteeka lino Bukulu Nsereko lyagala okukyanga aleete, nze ku lwange ndabanga ery'obwereere ku platforms nga zino, olw'ensonga mu Uganda ziri ziri blocked.
Etteeka lya kisiru nsonyi okozesa ekigambo ekyo era lireetebwa omusiru kubanga mu Uganda tetwetaaga tteeka lya kompyuta ddala makuteeka weegali era omusiru oyo bw'omwetegereza etteeka eryo lyennyini lyagamba mbu lyaleeta ali mu kkooti ng'awolereza Isima Olaksis ku tteeka eryo kati bw'aba alireeta ate lwaki awolereza Isima kati agambe bugambi basibe Isima naye abantu bangi ng'abo babasasulwa gavumenti okuleeta ebyo ebibeeza gavumenti mu buyinza ng'efuga abantu obumbula ng'ebamalako eddembe. Nze ndowooza singa abadde ayagala kuleeta amateeka yandireese etteeka eriziyiza gavumenti okuggyako Facebook oba internet kubanga naye agikozesa okubuulinga abantu. Nze Sereko mulabye ng'ayogera ebigambo ebinene eby'oluzungu ku peegi ye kakati naye olw'okubanga bwe bakusasula ng'olina okukola ekintu n'amagezi gali g'osigaza ng'omuntu okugamba nti naye kye baŋŋamba okusasula ate kyo kinaabeera kitya kubanga Nsereko alina omusango gwawolereza omuntu gwe bagamba nti yayogera kalebule kyokka ye agamba nti aleeta etteeka erijjawo kalebule kakati oyo omuntu bw'atyo oba oyinza okumuwuliriza. So nze ndowooza musasule nga bulijjo ali ku bukunkumuka bwa mugaati bwe bunaggwaawo ajja kudda mu sensezi ze ategeere nti kyayogerako takitegeera kubanga nze buli kiseera mulaba ng'ajja ku mikutu kati kye yabawadde gavumenti yagambye egenda kutandika okujja omusolo ku babuloga kubanga bafuna ssente mu kufuna kwegamba olabira ddala abantu abatategeera abakulembera eggwanga lino naye ebyo ebimu ffe tebitumalira budde tujja kubikwataganya nga tututa obuyinza tubize mu nteeko.
All right, thank you. I want to now look at the comment sections of different pages here, and they give you questions from our viewers. Let's start with the one pinned on the screen. Someone called Jacaranda Brown says, I don't know whether you can you read such?
Yeah, I can. He says we have observed with keen interest security operatives similar to features. I can read very well.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can you say something about that? Because the question is asking, would you say that they are indigenous Ugandans or they are from Burundi, Rwanda, or M23 from Congo, those people that put on uniforms of police, SFC, military, army, prisons, and civilian clothes, torturing, arresting our people?
Museveni has developed a machinery of goons that do this work. They come from his clan mainly. They are top relatives, and they are the ones at the helm of doing this because the person who recruits them is Jbmuwonge. So some are Ugandans, some are not Ugandans. But what we should know and what is baffling, that there is a mercenary of enforcement officers that have been trained to cause harm and inflict pain on Ugandans.
All right. Someone also wanted to know about the issue of our comrade Nakwede, the case, how it's going.
She has initiated the proceedings of court. We shall wait for the allocation of the case. But of course, she's still firm and formidable as we see what happens.
Okay. Someone else says, let me read it very well here.
Catherine Ojara, the councillors will be subjected to the due process of the law in the systems of the party. Just like those of Rubaga, even these ones will follow suit. Even if it is an MP, we have systems, we have investigating teams, we have a lot of information on them, but we must go through the processes as enshrined in our party constitution because we must observe the doctrine of fair hearing. So I will not comment further than that on that matter.
All right. Another one is coming from those watching from YouTube, and someone called Sebugwao Hassan. Actually, he sent earlier on, said, thanks for the show. My question all is done with the struggle, but why don't the next move be done by calling upon the cultural leaders to give a hand since we are all facing the same pain. But the regime, I think, is mentioning something to do with the involving the cultural leaders into this struggle.
Well, we have involved everybody. We have involved everybody overtly and covertly.
Comrade Wise, so let me first pin a number here, and we receive calls from comrades who'd love to call and ask you directly, because they are watching from different pages. I told you we are streaming on over 50 of them, and it is hard to go through all the comment sections of all those pages. Yeah, I have a team in the back that is helping me to pin those questions on the screen, but I believe a direct call will be better. Let me do something here to pin the number, and those that can call directly, please. I'm going to pin the number there, and you call direct and ask whatever you want to ask Comrade Waiswa. In the meantime, Nelson Nisurada says, Comrade Waiswa, how is the comrade who stand tall during the court martial?
We are still to establish. We are still to establish, and very definitely, we shall have to give a report as the time he comes back. But we know that he was not treated very well.
All right, thank you. Yes, the number is there. Just call on that number, positive 256 771 815947. In the remaining 40 minutes, I would love to get questions from you guys. Call direct and ask Comrade Waiswa whatever you'd love to ask him. In the meantime, Comrade, I want you to take us through how we are going to go past the police in the process of the mobilization, because it has been their routine, to disorganize all our activities. We saw that when the president was in Lila, and then after in Mbale, and this time around, how are we going to overcome that?
We have put up a system, and the system, I think, is working. It will be put to test.
Okay, just like you said, it has been
Yeah.
work in progress. All right. Then on the other thing, so there is something that I forgot to ask you when we were discussing the sentiments from Mao. He has made it a preoccupation to brand NUP as a party that is already part of IPOD, and that the NUP is already eating IPOD money, but not revealing the facts to the public. He talked too much, and I believe you came across such statements from him. I want your take on this, plus as well finalize with why all those attacks on us.
Mao, as I said, he's making background noise because he wants to catch the eye of the dictator to finalize their discussions. And to catch the eye of the dictator, you must either talk about it. About
We
Bobby
don't hear you.
Wine.
Yeah,
Uh,
here.
so, so that is Mao for you. I think we should not give him enough time to discuss him, because his intentions we all know. He was non-election. He ran for that election. He did not offer results. He was denied by Ugandans. We should not waste on a person who was rejected by Ugandans to the level of the position that he got.
Now, just want you to capitalize on the issue of iPod, because very many people actually are confused. People usually come to us and like,
We are not
is any
members
part
of
of
IPOD.
Mhm.
We are not members of IPOD. We do not go to IPOD. We will not go to IPOD. We shall not sit with General Museveni at whatever terms. Now, if Mao feels that he can force us to go to IPOD, he's daydreaming. There is money in the Constitution of Uganda, that is in the Multi-Party Organizations Act 1401, which says that these resources, in accordance with the numbers you have in Parliament, shall be allocated. Mao's stupidity tells him that we are running after pennies of money of parliamentary representation, and yet for us we are running to take government. We are not going to be cowed against our decision of not sitting and dialoguing with Museveni. IPOD is the inter-party organization for dialogue. It is a meeting for tea. It is a meeting for comradeship. Now, we are not comrades with General Museveni like Mao is. You have heard that they are friends with General Muhoozi. For us, General Muhoozi wants to kill us. So we shall not sit in IPOD. I have heard that they want to bring a law which says that if you're not sitting in IPOD, you do not get the funds to run your political organization. And we are good. Let them bring the law, and we shall tell them that our position then, whether we shall join or not join. We shall be judged by our actions. That we want to guarantee.
Okay. There is also something that people need more clarification on. That's the issue of Comrade Maseruka. You know, Chris Williams recently came out and actually he said that the reason as to why they arrested the Maseruka is because he was part of NDF, and that they managed to, you know, get all the chats how he was communicating with them. Such an allegation isn't something very small compared to how, you know, ADF is perceived. I want you to take us through that. Did he just mention that and they left the matters there, or they're prosecuting Comrade Masoka for that?
I want to tell you that that NUP and all of us are taken as rebels. We are not living a free life. Those who are not in the field of fighting the dictator can come to Uganda and think things are okay. But I want to give you from the horse's mouth, things are not okay. For us who are running against having the country free and better, for us who are having the voices of dissent. So Masereka is treated like many of those who have been arrested, like the Machete Yassins, like the Olivia Lutayas. He was tortured so badly because at one time they believe that because we have refused to talk to them, definitely.
Yeah, on the issue of branding him as part of ADF, did they just mention that and did not, you know, charge him for that? Because it's a very serious allegation. Is there any court sessions going on for the same?
There are no court sessions. That is why he was released on police bond. But I told you not to trust words of everybody. I told you that Chris Monsi, I did not give people the whole story. But when Nevanda died, it was in public knowledge that Nevanda had been killed by the state. Because on Thursday, before she died on Saturday, she had had a quarrel with the First Lady in the precincts of Parliament over a very serious matter. And she was later murdered on Saturday. Dr. Chris Variomonsi said, in his own words and his own record, that Nevanda had been actually murdered by the state. That was his position. And at the time, we had three doctors. There was Dr. Bitecherezo of Mbarara. There was Dr. Chris Variomonsi, and there was Dr. Onzivwa. Now, because of the matter being, it was a serious matter at the time. Because those of you who don't know, when Parliament, they had requested the Parliament to sit and discuss this matter, the recalling of Parliament of a person who had passed away, President Museveni refused, General Dictator Museveni refused Parliament to sit again, and there were allegations at the time that the then Speaker of Parliament, I hope she'll tell us the truth one time, was arrested at her home and later paraded before the military council in Rachtura to stop her from recalling Parliament to discuss Nevanda. Now, we needed to have a sample to South Africa to be sure with the report that she had actually been murdered. So the people that were interested were two, Dr. Onzivwa and Dr. Baryomonsi. The disturbing thing was ate bagenda okusanga akanyama Baryomonsi bw'amala okawa Onzivwa. Onzivwa nate bw'atuuka ku airport Entebbe ng'amaze okukiriyalinga. Ate Baryomonsi yali amaze okunegotiatinga ne gavumenti nga banabaliddemu olukwe n'aloopa Onzivwa Jeke baagimukubira ku tamaka Entebbe. Ontegedde bulungi. So kati omuntu nze bw'ati okuva ku olwo ekyokubiri si ye muntu gwowa si wa kigambo ki, because the medical doctor cannot at any forum bw'aba nga kituufu musawo come out and say that he can condone torture. Kya bwewusa nnyo era bwe nabigasegasse ne ngamba nze oyo sigenda muddamu kubanga nzijukira ebyafaayo.
All right, thank you very much for that. As we wind up this show, I'm just calling upon whoever wants to make a call. I believe I have a caller here. Hello? Salam alaikum.
Waiswa, alaikum salam comrade. Comrade, you told me to kubuza. Comrade Waiswa, nti singa basajja basuuza honorable zake ekifo ky'obwa commissioner. Can't we, the NUP as a party, reappoint him on the same on the same position? What is this here for Uganda?
All right, abadani you know. From South Africa?
Yes, please.
All right, Banda Birinyabi South Africa. Mwebale kubeerako comrades abali South Africa. Yes, I believe comrade Waiswa ekibuzo kiwulidde bulungi.
Agambye
nti singa parliament wininga n'ejjawo zaake tetusobola kuddamu reappointinga ku kifo kyekimu.
Ffe tetutunulidde reappointment, tutunulidde kati obumenyi bw'amateeka bwa Anita Among. Bwe tutunulidde era tujja kubwanukula mu kiseera ekituufu ng'amaze okuyisaawo by'alowooza nti byalina okuyisaawo.
Okay, wali wano mulala abadde akuba during the other call. Kamale mugire tulabe kyadde agamba. Hello? I think on a comrade in a network challenge. Network challenge. Okay. Guys, don't call direct. A number, just call on WhatsApp. Only WhatsApp calls. Just make call on that number. I have it here with me. Ogenda kuyitamu comrade mubuuze kyonna kyonna kyeyagala mubuuza. Hello?
Yeah, thanks for hosting Mufumbiro.
Welcome.
Thanks for the question I wanted to read Mufumbiro is what is the party going to come out on reckless debate by some of our senior leaders? Because I was watching one of the programs where, to me, Honorable Nambo of Mukono Municipality raised some issues which some of us who are analytical, they tend to be a bit diversionary to the party, which raises a bit of bickering between the leaders. For example, he raised an issue that leader of opposition Matthias Impuga in Parliament, he came up with a decision to censure Honorable Jbmuwonge of NRM, the Minister of Security. But after assertion was that the topic was just brought to them. They had not discussed it. All they could see, Honorable Matthias Impuga was saying, we're going to put up the books, people should sign, you can take the books to your constituencies. So we are saying, what is the doing to harmonize some of our big personalities in the party, because we are not trying to gag up their freedom of speech in terms of representing their views, but I have witnessed that some of our leaders at senior level, this was an example of Honorable Nambos, whereby she was saying, oh, the problems of FDP before shouldn't be repeated by National Unity Platform. So Honorable Nambos, she's trying to assert that National Unity Platform needs to sit with the red card. So we are saying, what is the party doing to harmonize such reckless and diversionary discussions in the media from some of our party senior leaders? Because to what some of us supporters, we are digging some holes in some of our leaders. We are saying, are they really following the method of our party? Kwegamba twebuuza abakulembeze bano abamu nga bannambooze lwaki bwe babeera mu media tebatradinga the same route ng'abakulembeze nga Honorable Waiswa Mufumbiro, Secretary General, President, ebintu bye baba boogeddeko naye ate bo ne baleetawo discussions ezaabwe, debates. Kino nga twakiraba ne ku Honorable IPOD Bwanika yakola n'agenda mu mawulire ne yeeteerawo emboozi ye. So tugamba, what is the party doing to harmonize our PR and disciplinary, so that if a leader goes to the media platform, really, we are not trying to get their freedom of speech, but at least they should go the same path as our party person, as our president, as our secretary general, other than for them,
all right. Do you hear the forum very well?
Bana ekibuzo nkitegedde era nkinotinze bulungi.
All right.
Ng'agezaako okugamba nti PR yaffe yeetaaga okuharmonizinga abantu.
Omudembe gwe tulimu abaana bakoowu bwe tulaba abakulembeze baffe nga bagenda batamwatamwa n'ebigambo tujja kugamba bakolera ani, baava mu pate ze baavaamu naye baasigazaayo emikwano nga bo kati ebintu ebyobufuzi byabwe bya friendship kuba gundi naliko mu post ate muganya okukuula ne yayiseewo ekikye kuba nawuliriza emboozi ya Honorable Namboozi. It was a bit controversial.
Comrade, engeri gye tulina calls ennyingi kakuddemu bulungi tufunene ku opinions z'abalala. Yes, abadde ani onera okubidde kusinzidde wano?
Nkubidde kuva Bungereza wano. Bampita Bwana John Kizito nga ndi mugoberezi nnyo w'enkyukakyuka era nga buli lwenfuna chance mbawo obubaka bw'empisaamu. Era nga gw'amaanyi enkyukakyuka tugirimu. Besigye yatulimba emyaka 2 naye ne tutambula ne tuvaayo eyo kati tuli wano.
All right, Bwana John kati Comrade Waiswa kakuddemu ekibuuzo katufunene ku balala.
Nga bwe mugambye nti amazima gali nti muwuliriza bulungi nnyo, ensonga z'ayogeddeko zibadde zasimbanga za nsa, naye ate nange sijja kuziza mu mawulire naye tujja kuzoogeraganyako mu PR system okulaba nti twongera okussa ekimu n'okwogera okutegeeza ekimu. Naye nga mutegedde bulungi era waddembe okuba nti twenoonyako ne twongera okuwaya n'okusala amagezi. Tetuli ba custodian ba knowledge. We must work with sharing and adopting everybody such that buli omu aba asobola okuyambako munne mukola ekituufu. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, Comrade Waiswa, yes, okyaliko bulungi. Badde nyina kyenterezaamu wano. Bana njagala kufuna ngeri gye nsobola okuinkurizingamu ku volume eno. Naye nga eddoboozi owulira bulungi okuva mu ba-callers?
Nze nkuwulira bulungi nnyo.
Ne ba-callers bawulira bulungi?
Yes, sebo.
All right, perfect. Katugendera awo. Katufune wano omulala.
Ndowooza tufuneyo nga babiri ku lw'obudde.
Obudde bunaatera tusigazayo dakiika ntono nnyo. kamale okulaba wano kujja kyagamba kujja omugezi alina kyagala kirabika okubuuza
oyo mumanyi ayotya
guys enamba eyo mukube WhatsApp kokka. Hello. Yes, oli loud and clear nse kuwulira yonna.
Sayinza okukola bannange.
Naffe tusanyusa okuwuliza.
Ne muganda wange Waiswa nsanyusa okuwuliza.
Kale ssebo ng'ombuzeeko.
Comrade Waiswa tasobola kuwulira mubuuze yakuwulira naye gwe tosobola muwulira.
Okay.
Yes.
Nze kyembadde musaba kiri ekintu kimu. Mbadde nsaba National Unity Platform tugaane kubeera diverted by bino ebintu Maama Lususu byaleeta ebyokusaakinga zaake. Because ekintu kya tocha kyali kibatuddemu. N'ebintu byonna bye batukoze nga balaba tuli ahead of them. Semba mbadde mbasaba. Tubaleke bo bakole bye bakola. Then if it focusing ku bintu ebiri very very important like the torture. Ng'ekintu kya torture ekyo tu encouraging abantu babeere nga bakye exposing because kyabatuulamu. That's why they are diverting us. Era as I'm talking to you, mfunye ku mawulire simanyi oba matuufu oba si matuufu nti Maama Lususu alabika agenze Seattle. I don't know whether it's true or it's not true. Kugamba ebintu bye bakola byonna babikola without abantu okumanya. So mbadde nsaba Comrade Waiswa, this is what kimusaba. Bagende maaso nga bafocusinga ku bintu ebiri important.
All right, thank you.
Ekyazaake bakiveeko.
All right, webale nnyo katufuneyo wano ku mulala. Hello.
Comrade Jeb.
Yes, mpulira bulungi. Ani ono era okubidde okuva wasebo?
Nkubidde kuva South Africa by one.
South Africa. Bali kubeera kabi South Africa. Yes, tuli ne Comrade Waiswa, olina ky'omubuuza, olina ky'omugamba.
Tuli ne Comrade Waiswa tumwagala nnyo muganda waffe. Muganda waffe w'ejjinja ne tumwagala nnyo manya. Asinga Abaganda otegeera. Alina Abaganda basinga otegeera.
Maama wange Wakobe yogera mpola.
Ekibuuzo sooka omubuuza ekibuuzo kuba bangi wano bali wano bayitirivu nnyo nnyo baagala okubaako kye bamubuuza.
Ekibuuzo kye mubuuza. Jase ekibuuzo kigenda sembayo naye nga Waiswa tumwagala nnyo Cowboy waffe. Ekibuuzo ekisooka obeera ekisembayo. Akitatuweera ku mbwa zino ze bayita zinsereko. Ensereko yazituweera ku levo, embwa ze bayita zinsereko, zimawu. Bakitayongera n'azituweerako ku levo. Ezo zituyitiriddeko ennaku zino.
Alright, akufunye bulungi era nsuubira agenda kuddamu. Katufuneyo ku mulala wano mwebale nnyo okubeera kabe South Africa.
Tweyanziza nnyo mukama waffe.
Kale Comrade Waiswa
South Africa muwulidde bulungi mwagala nnyo nange nkutumidde nnyo. Banaye mwebale kutwagala na kutuzaamu maanyi. Okwagala okwo kwe mutulaga kwe kwongera okutulaga n'okutukakasa nti tuyimiridde ku mazima era n'okuba nti tetusobola kubavaamu kubanga twafuuka family. So tetukitwala for granted. It inspires us. Nobody does not want to be loved. So tubeera very humbled whenever we get that positive vibe from your side. Era nekitongera amaanyi ag'okulwanirira eggwanga lyaffe Uganda.
Wano mulala as we wind up kanfuneyo wano. Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Or good evening. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I have caught this a little late, but I have a few things to say, and I think this goes directly to people like Waiswa, who I think sit up there with some of the people in this body. There has been, if we talk about reality, there has been branding of NUP more as a propaganda party. You get what I understand? You get what I mean?
Yes, I get
So my advice is, please, to the leaders in NUP. I think for every press conference they have, every time they appear on any form of media, social media, could they please try and fight that issue of trying to run NUP as a propaganda party? Because this issue, I can assure you, touches so many people. And so many, actually, I could say important people would have been really important to the party, have distanced themselves because especially if you come from the West, people call you a mole, people call you all these kind of things. So I think the leaders in this party should start and fight this issue. Secondly, they should also fight the issue of people calling each other mole, so and so is a mole, so and so was bold. So, a lot of these things go around on social media or whatever, everywhere, but the party leaders don't actually come out to clarify. And this has created a big problem in this party. You get what I mean? There are people who have been branded all sorts of names, and the party does not come out to take a stand and say, you know what, this is this and this. And because of that, there's been a lot of enmity. I'm sure you see people fighting each other, especially in the diaspora, saying, you did this, you more, you this, you that, And a lot of people come around social media, doing Facebook Lives and all these things, and they connect themselves somehow to the party. I think the party needs to distance itself from some people who use bad, wrong propaganda. Because this is dividing people.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just to tell us where you're calling from and who you are.
For some reasons, I really wouldn't want to disclose so much, but I'm calling from Norway.
No. It's fine. It's understandable.
Yeah.
All right. Comrade Waiswa, I believe you've gotten the message very well. Someone from Uganda is seriously calling, and I think this should be the last one, and we'll wind up this. But I believe the network has been disturbing him. I've been trying to receive him, but he doesn't go through. I can tell you very many people are calling in. If I showed you my screen, the missed calls here, that very many people want to ask you questions. Very, very many. I believe people have burning questions. Unfortunately, time is always not enough. And unfortunately, it is failing to connect, as you can see. I believe let's wind up this with the last caller's request. What do you say about that? Comrade West, you get me?
Yes, sir. I want to, the former caller asked the question. I have noted with concern the issue of advice from the previous caller on terms of how we operate the torture versus the propaganda of the state. And yes. I am agreeable to that. But as you may realize, all this is done to take us off the rail of what we are supposed to be doing. Torture is a narrative that will not go away, though the regime struggles so much to make it a point that they want to make it a point that's not existent, but then behind the curtains is what they are doing. We are yet to show you so many victims that were tortured. But what I want to tell the country on issue of leaders and discipline, that we are very strong on discipline, and we will only follow the due processes. Nobody is above the party constitution, and we are working with cohesion in seeing that we fulfill the desired goals that Ugandans have bestowed upon us of retrieving this country from the hands of the dictator. Secondly, we are not diverted. I don't want to think we are diverted by by the state and its propaganda. We remain focused to it, but sometimes you need to take stock and clarify on the issues that happen as they happen. A lot of things happen. If you look at the passing of the news, it is always too much. But definitely we have a program on torture, and we have a program of exposing all those that have been tortured, notwithstanding the security alert. And we call upon all Ugandans to bring out all those who have the torture stories, because we know that there are so many. There is a question, the last question our colleague from Norway asked was the issue of the party putting up with, it's getting out of my mind. But his question, the gentleman from Norway, if you may remind me, JB, it was about the last question.
Actually, he was suggesting, it's getting off me as well, but he was suggesting, it was not actually a question, but it was a suggestion.
And it's very unfortunate I can't get it. I wish he could come back. We would give him time, because I had a very good response to it. Or he could please find me on my cell and we discuss about the same.
First hold on.
Mbadde njagala ku kintu ky'obutwe bw'Abaganda baffe, ku kintu ky'obutwe bw'Abaganda baffe, waliwo eddagala Abaganda baffe bona kati bonna kitegeeza nti Abaganda baffe bona bajja bava mu makomera si bajja okutta baba batadde.
Actually, Ntegedde, I have remembered my brother.
Comrade, first wait. Okay, first finish with that, and I bring you this one as well.
He was talking about the issue of tribalism and how we have been, the party should take up a step of that. I can tell you, we are not tribal. We have come out to say that. We have come out to, it is even by division. By vision that you see who we are. But of course, you cannot stop this state propaganda because they have to come after us. Yeah.
Okay, first continue.
So it is a big job to do, and we are doing it. Of course, many will want to take us off what we are doing, but I can tell you we are always focused right there.
He was suggesting that every time we do such kind of press conferences, maybe we find a way how we can work it out.
And we always do, even by representation. If you look at the members who are always around, even by even by reality, we are one of our values is that we are inclusive.
Is there any other strategy that can be employed to maybe figure out how we can work it more than maybe having conferences at the party premises, maybe visiting other regions like in the West? Because I have a colleague, he's from Western Uganda. He paid me a visit yesterday, and he was narrating to me how there is still more work that needs to be done in the West. Is it something in program, NUP visiting or doing such kind of press conferences and the pressers from different regions of the country?
Of course, it is easier in Kampala because that's where our headquarters are, and disseminating information from the center is very easy. If also given the workload that we have. But of course, we have that in program as the office of the spokesperson. My boss, Joel, and the media team have discussed this, and we believe we are going to move forward. Unfortunately, people have not known, but for the last 1 year, we have been so busy that we could not do so many things because the state had put a lot of fight on us. We have a lot of prisoners, murders, death. So we were forming our blueprint in charting the new waters of the second wave. and second phase of this revolution. We believe that will move, but we also look so much forward to empowering our people from wherever they are, such that they can have the same energy in matters concerning what we stand for, in matters concerning our beliefs, our core values, the drifts. I talked about the drifts. I can see the class monitor here asking me to teach about them. I told you that our values are discipline, reliability, inclusiveness, fidelity, and service. So that is our principle. That is our value. That is what we stand for. And it is always important that we discuss that.
All right. Someone, comrade, before you go, I know we are left with the very, very little time, but let me just get two more people. Someone here is 20 years old and he wants to talk to you. But let me first bring someone here from, I believe, South Africa. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. We get you clear. Who are you?
Yes, comrade. Yes, comrade Muwonge.
Yes.
We really appreciate your work, comrade. Thanks for bringing comrade Waiswa on the studio.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, we get you very well. You are calling from which side of the world and the?
I'm just around Muwonge. So kakati nze nkozi ensonga gye mba njagala okwogerako Muwonge webala nnyo tuleetera mwami Waiswa ssebo tusiima nnyo emirimu gye mukolera ekibiina tusiimira ddala bannange. So guys, just keep it up that good work. Kubanga tesaawa eno nkesaawa eno abantu situlage essaawa eno weeri ndowooza bwe tutingira okwetaaga abantu nga Waiswa, I think. So the likes of Mau, bano ba Mubaraka, nalabyeko awo Mubaraka, Munyagwa Mubaraka and group, bye boogera essaawa eno bye tulina okuexpectinga nti bagenda kubyogera kubanga kati tebakyalina kye bagamba abantu. Kati Mau agenda kugamba ki abantu really, ki agenda okugamba abantu nga yavudde mu kalulu yafunye n'obululu ne Katumba yamusenza obululu. Kakati nti abo abantu to expectinge nti bagenda kubeera nga they're going to attack no naye as we know nti naffe tubalinze era naffe tugenda kuba naffe ready for them to just fight back them. So nsuubira ndowooza part 1 twabakubye then part 2 nayo anayegenda kuba kuyitamuka mu kisero teyinza kusobola.
All right. Thank you. Comrade Waiswa, I believe let's wind up this. Let me not bring this last caller. Kasita program tugenda kubeera tugikola Alex Waiswa wanafunira ng'obudde. We shall always be here on this program 45 minutes with different categories of leaders across the planet, not necessarily Uganda, but of course in line with our struggle. Comrade Waiswa, we can hear you, however much we cannot see your picture. I want your parting shots and then we wind up this show.
Well, I don't know why you're not seeing the picture, but I want to thank you so much. I want to thank all Ugandans. I want to thank Ugandans in the diaspora and reaffirm and assert that the role you play in the diaspora shakes the trees back here and gives us a lot of formidability. You have done good in exposing this regime. You give them sleepless nights, yet you're only operating on your phones. I only want to urge you not to stop. Ask the questions you're supposed to ask. Guys, let's push this forward. We can push it forward. We can push it faster. The power is in our hands. I want to thank you very much, JB. I hope this has been an interactive show. And I've said I look forward, always when we have time, to come back and interact together. People power, our power. Our power, people power.
People power.
For God and my country.
Thank you very much, Comrade Waiswa. It has been a wonderful time having you. And I believe, just like you confirmed, nja kukuleetanga era ngenda kutawaanyanga nnyo kuba abantu bakwagala n'essaawa zino bakyakuba amasimu. And sorry where it went wrong. This has been the first show, and I believe there's certain moments bitagenze bulungi mutusonyiwemu. Next time tujja kutereeza amanyi asigadde nze Jbmuwonge. And I encourage you guys to keep sharing this message. At least that is also something that you can do as a person. Just like our president, the little each one of us can do, you must do. Just do the little that you can do. You never know what that little. So we love you guys. Have the best of the time. Bye-bye.
Have a lovely Sunday.
Lovely Sunday too.